Hi everyone, so today's video is another first impression video, and this is on another cream contouring and highlighting palette, and this again is from the drugstore or the pharmacies. I got this downtown in Mulholland in a local pharmacy and it was I think €5, but it is available on boohoo.com in the beauty and gifts section, and I think it's around €5 or €6 on that too. So if it's a thing that you can't find it in stores near you, they do have it on boohoo.com. So if you're on getting clothes, maybe just pick it up if you want to try it. Right now I am my pale self. I have no tan really on. I have the very last bit of a tan on, so practically nothing. Like one more wash and I'll be my milk bottle self. The last cream contouring video I did with the Catrice palette, I was tanned, so I thought I would do one for when I'm pale right now, for anyone that is pale or doesn't like to wear tan. Now looking at the shades, I'm not really sure if it is going to work that well. They're not the worst, but I do find when I am my very pale self, cream contouring and highlighting is pretty much out of the question. I almost never do it, if ever, just because it's much harder to achieve a natural kind of cream contour and highlight when you're pale, because number one, it's hard to find a highlighting shade that is light enough to actually highlight. Like I would literally have to go white to highlight my face, and then obviously a contour shade that isn't too orange or too dark, that doesn't look like, you know, muck on my face. So normally when I'm pale I pretty much avoid it, but some people don't like wearing tan at all, so you know, your only option is your pale skin. So most drugstore cream contouring and highlighting palettes wouldn't actually have a huge shade range that would match pale people. Now in saying that, Sleek have brought out a new range of cream contouring highlighting palettes, which I'm yet to try. I will try and pick one up and do a video on that very soon. But I think kind of the reason is because most people would only kind of cream contour and highlight when they're going out, because you're going to go for like full glam, full face of makeup, really dramatic, and most people wear tan on nights out. So I think that is kind of why companies do just kind of gear the shades towards more tanned people. But I am going to give this a go anyway. I went a little bit off on a tangent there, but there is still shades that I think will work for my pale skin. I'll give you a look at the shades now. So like you can see there, you get 8 different shades. On the back there's a little diagram which shows you where everything should go. Not that there is actually names to these directions here, but because I know what contouring and highlighting is, I presume this is the contour shade, then your foundation, then your highlighting, and then they have it coloured in on the face chart there. I do have a primer on and a foundation. The foundation I have on is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation. Then I just have my brows filled in and a little bit of lip liner and lippy, because I felt like I looked sick coming on here with like no face or eye makeup. I'm doing a video after this on a palette for my eyes, so that's why I have no eye makeup on. So I'm going to jump into this because I'm rambling. So I think for highlighting I'm going to take this shade here. Now I haven't even touched any of these. Let's just see what they're like. They're quite kind of, they're actually a lot creamier than usual. Cream contouring palettes, yes, I'm already happy. Yeah, that shade's actually nice. Now they are a little bit waxy to the touch, but most of these palettes are, so just kind of have to get used to that. So I'm going to pop this on the center. Oh my gosh, I'm actually impressed already. This is light enough to highlight my pale face. Nice one. It is actually almost white though. It's nearly white, but once you set this with a powder and stuff, it won't, like, it doesn't look stark white. Hope it doesn't to you, but it doesn't to me anyway. It just looks like a really pale pinky shade. So I'm putting that obviously on the center of my chin and underneath my eyes. I haven't set my face with powder obviously, because cream on powder does not work. It's a big no-no. These are actually really nice. I'm actually getting excited now. I might have found a new good cream contouring palette. Because this looks promising already. I'm actually quite impressed. Like, that went on really, really well. Didn't pull too much at the skin. Creamier than my Crown Brush one anyway. Creamier than the Catrice all round contouring palette. I'm bringing some down the centre of my nose and the centre of my forehead. You can actually see that that cream foundation is very, very pigmented. I am actually so happy with this. I know I haven't blended it out yet or anything, and I won't really know how long it lasts. I'm not going to do one where I check in later because it's like, what time is it? 7:30. So it's a little bit late to be doing that, but so that is the highlight shade on, and now I'm going to apply the contouring shade. And I'm using I used a foundation brush for that. I used the Blank Canvas F02, which is just a flat foundation brush, so that's fine to just pack it on once you go in with something else to blend it out, which I will in a few minutes. So actually, looking at it now, they do have it that's really messy now, but we'll just wipe that off. But looking at it now, they do kind of have it coordinated. So you see these this top row here is more aimed at pale people, and this bottom row here is more aimed at kind of more tanned skin. So you actually, like, I am really, really pale right now, and that has highlighted my face, which is really, really 10 out of 10, like, straight off, because most highlighting contouring palettes just don't do that for me at all. So I'm really happy with that already. So for this, I'm going to take, that seems to kind of suit, but I think I'm going to go a bit darker and take this one, just so that we can kind of see it on camera. So for this, I'm taking the Blank Canvas F23 brush, which is a tapered synthetic brush, and I rather use sort of these ones that are a little bit more like a buffer brush rather than say one of these, like a little small brush, because it will just leave a stripe, whereas this is going to go on a little bit more blended. Still going to see a line, but it's not going to be as harsh. So that's actually quite nice. It's a very cool toned brown shade, so it's actually really good for contouring. It's not too orange, not too warm. So I'm just popping that into hollows of my cheeks and along the jawline, and I'm also going to put a little bit around the chin and up around the temples and the forehead. So the usual places that I would contour and highlight, whether it be with cream or powder. And then I'm going to go in with a tiny bit of this darker shade. Same brush, I'm just going to use it because this is going to pretty much be my palette, so it's probably going to get destroyed eventually. And I'm literally just putting the tiniest bit there, and then once I blend it out, it won't be as harsh. So then same here, and I'm going to take a small bit of that lighter shade again and just run a small bit on either side and the kind of tip of my nose. So then I'm going to take, so now I'm taking my F21 from Blank Canvas, and this is the brush I put my foundation on with, and I'm just going to use kind of patting motions and buff all this out. I'm just going to kind of drag that down when I'm blending out the jawline contour. Just for the jawline though, not for here. For here you want to kind of work up towards the ear. Don't do that because it'll just drag down your face. So I'm just buffing that in. And you can sharpen up the edge and all that with a bit of the highlighter shade or foundation shade if you want to. So these are actually blending really, really nicely. Like, being honest, I didn't have much hope for this palette, which is bad. I shouldn't have had like a kind of conception of it, but I didn't really have much hope for it because drugstore contour palettes or just cream contouring palettes in general don't usually work for me. But this is actually really impressive. I'm really liking it. I want to get tan now and go like the whole full shebang with cream contouring, because this is actually looking really, really nice. You can see yourselves that it's actually blending really nicely. And then I might just use my damp sponge for underneath the eyes. That way it won't be as heavy underneath there. And again, blending out really, really nice. You can go in with the foundation brush then just to blend out the edges. Going in with the foundation brush. And then I'm going to use this for the nose as well. So just blending out the highlighting and contour bit there. And sure, I'll use it to blend out the forehead area as well. I'm just going to go in with the brush and blend out the very edges. So I don't know about you guys, but I think that looks pretty good. I know bronzer and everything always looks so much harsher on that camera than it does in person, and I know that's such like a typical thing to say, but I genuinely mean that. Just blend out a small bit more so hopefully it doesn't look as harsh for you. And then there's actually kind of a peachy shade here. I don't know if you can see that, so I'm actually going to pop that on to my cheeks as a little kind of blush shade. I'll give you swatches of all the shades now in a couple of minutes. So I'm just using a kind of flat synthetic brush and I'm just popping that onto the apples of my cheeks and then just blending it up towards my ear so it kind of goes like contour, blush, highlight. Now the only thing it's missing from this palette is a shimmery highlight. I actually think that that looks very, very nice. I thought it blended very nicely. I actually am very, very surprisingly impressed. So I'm just going to go and set all this now with a little bit of face powder, highlight and a little bit of a bronzer, because I would always set my cream products because I am a very oily person and there is no way that this would stay on me, and even now it feels a little bit sticky and I just don't like that feeling because I'm not used to it. So I'm going to go and set it because I would always, like I said, set my cream products. And I'll come back once I set it and I'll see how powder sits on it and stuff like that. So I've just swatched these for you off camera. Hopefully you can see them. Lift the camera. Some of them are really pale, so they're being washed out by the ring light, but like you can literally see, like that was only maybe like one swipe and you can see how creamy and pigmented they are, and they suit like pale and tan people. So I am really, really impressed. So you can see the swatches a lot better when I kind of sit back, but that's them there. Like you can see how creamy they are, how pigmented, and there's actually a great shade range. They have a sort of pale skin tone, then a cool toned like contour shade, that's the white shade I kind of used underneath my eyes. They have a pinky peachy shade here, then this is the contour shade I used. Then they have a kind of peachy shade, that's the one I used for the blush. They have a lighter kind of warm highlight shade. If you were really, really tanned, that would be your highlight shade. And then there's that really dark contour shade. They're very, very creamy, as you can see, and like I said, pigmented. Like they went on so easy there. And that is it set with the powder, so it still looks really, really nice. Fairly natural, but I do have a bit of a contour going on. I have to say I am so impressed with this. Like, for €5, I think I'd pay like 20-30 euro for this palette, and it's only €5. Most cream contouring palettes, well pretty much all the cream contouring palettes I've tried, swatched, seen so far, they're all thick, feel really heavy, and just don't blend that well. They always pull at my skin, but this like literally glided onto the skin, blended out so nicely, and on top of that the shades were perfect. So like I actually have no fault whatsoever about this palette. I 100% think it's worth the €5. Now obviously I don't know how it's going to wear. Usually with these cream foundations and contouring products, they do go quite oily on me after a few hours, but that's literally just my skin. But I love the finish. Like it's so nice. And like €5. Are you freaking kidding me? Like I actually can't wait to give this a proper go when I'm tanned. Like even though it actually suits me so well for when I'm pale, like this is the only time I think I've ever liked cream contouring on me while I've been pale, because it actually really does suit me It literally just looks like it's sort of melted into my skin. Like, I honestly can't recommend this palette enough. I know this is just my first impression, but this is a good first impression. Like, I am definitely surprised with it, really impressed with it, like I've said a million times, and I'm very, very happy with it. So I guess that's kind of it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this little first impression video, and let me know if you pick it up and you do enjoy the palette, because I like it. I do really like it. So yeah, as always, if you enjoyed the video, then please don't forget to give it a thumbs up so that I know that you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. And thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye.